Hi everyone, Andrew here from Best Wine Buys, and it's a great pleasure to be joined today by Hamish Clark from Saint Clair Winery. How are you going, Hamish?
Good, thank you. Good.
Thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Pleasure.
It's been a big year for Saint Clair in terms of awards. I mean, it's always the way, but 2010's been another big one.
Yeah, no, very much so. And I think probably Neil's proudest award was the recent Wine State Winery of the Year, as well as Winemaker of the Year. So two very big awards for Neil on that one. Just also heard just recently that we've just taken the trophy for Pinot at Hobart as well. So this is, I think, about the fourth or the fifth year on the trot that Marlborough's taken that Pinot trophy, which is fantastic for Marlborough Pinot producers.
Yeah, and we often think of Saint Clair as, you know, the masters of Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay. So to see that success with Pinot Noir is great as well.
Yeah, no, it's quite exciting. It's and certainly the years ahead of us are going to, for me anyway, are exciting years especially as those vines get some more vine age. It's really what has been hamstringing Marlborough's Pinot productions to date as far as quality goes.
Right. Well, we on Best Wine Buys we've had massive success with the Vicar's Choice range, fantastic value wines. Yeah. Particularly the Sauvignon Blanc, and we've just released the new 2010 Sauvignon Blanc, and the 2010 Sparkling Sauvignon Blanc, which we're sampling now. And we're hearing a lot about 2010 as a great vintage. How good was it? Yeah,
I think so. I think it's yet to be seen. We get laughed at by our growers because every year we do a grower tasting and they front up and Matt and I, this is Matt Thompson, we're standing up the front saying, oh, this is probably one of the best vintages we've ever seen, and they're all like saying, yeah, you said that last year as well, you said that last year. But look, the vines in Marlborough are so young that each year we are just seeing little lifts in quality all the time. We had a few challenges this year. The cold January, February meant that we had a slower ripening through that period, and then we also had quite a hot harvest window. Daytime temperatures weren't necessarily hotter, but just certainly the nighttime temperatures were quite warm, and that's led to some challenges, but it's also led to some amazing concentration of flavours.
Mm. Yeah. Well, we certainly see that in the Vicar's Choice Sauvignon. I mean, relative to its price point, the power and concentration there is fantastic. Yeah. And how about the Sparkling Sav? I mean, this is knowing Saint Clair and knowing your reputation for Sauvignon Blanc. I guess it's no surprise that it's so good, but how did it come about?
Neil actually posed the question to Matt and I prior to 2008. We were talking about maybe something similar to the Mount Riley Sauvy, or whether we looked at Méthode Traditionnelle sort of style of winemaking. And Neil was still asking the question actually about a Chardonnay or a Pinot Meunier, like a full-on Méthode style. But 2008 came along, that idea kind of went on the back burner, and then of course Montana launched their Lindauer, blew the sales figures out of the water, and that sparked Neil's attention again, and he came back to us and said, look, what should we be doing here? And we said, well, look, having tasted what's around, and certainly, like you've just alluded to earlier, knowing the reputation of Saint Clair, we didn't want to tarnish that reputation by putting anything shonky or bottom end out. So we looked at it pretty hard for a couple of years, and then this year decided we'd commit with some pretty good fruit. Cool. And we're really pleased with it, to be honest. We think we've nailed the balance. We've got the spectrum right. And we've had comments from a few people that generally aren't bubbly drinkers that are really impressed with it. So it's all those little endorsements from the consumers that really are going to see whether this is a success or a failure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's certainly got off to a good start with Best Wine Buys customers, and when I tried it first, the thing that struck me probably most was that it is a very clean, fresh, pure Sauvignon Blanc. Some of the more commercial examples that we'd tasted previous had been a touch sweet, obviously for that market, but as you'd expect from Saint Clair, this is a pretty serious Sauvignon with bubbles, and certainly quite refreshing as it gets a bit hotter. And then that leads us on to the Pinot Noir, the Vicar's Choice Pinot Noir. I mean, I don't need to introduce this wine to the guys watching at home. It's our biggest selling Pinot Noir for 4 years in a row now, and I mean, how do you manage that? I mean, again, for the price.
Yeah.
How do you get such a good Pinot in the bottle?
One of Neil's philosophies is always been about drive and quality, and one of his key mottos is how do we do it better? And that's what he's always asking a question about quality. Even like, we'll have just won a trophy for something, and he'll pat me on the back and say, "That's great, Hame, but how do we do it better for next time?" Like, you've just won a really prestigious trophy here, Robo. Okay. But it's that quest for quality all the time. We're keeping all of our vineyard parcels separate. We treat them all as if they're reserve parcels. We have learnt in a very short space of time what sites are suiting Pinot production, what sites aren't, and really focusing those efforts. And there's been occasions where we've actually pulled vines out and replaced them with Pinot, or pulled Pinot out and replaced them with Savvy, where those varieties haven't been correct for the particular soils. Marlborough's blessed with a large variety of different soil types as well. You've got the very clayey soils that are great for Pinot. You've got the stony bony sites that seem to do very well with the aromatics. The fertile soils that are great for the Savvies. For the Pinot, we obviously at the price point that we're looking at, majority of it's tank matured. There are some barrels in there, but they generally are the downgrades from the reserve batches. But it's given the same care and attention that the reserve batches are, and really it's just the vineyard site selection, the initial vineyard site selections, and focusing those efforts into those places that have really seen those qualities come through there.
We certainly found it to be just a lovely, juicy, fresh style. I mean, it might not have the palate weight of the premium or reserve wines, but boy oh boy is it enjoyable and extremely drinkable. So we look forward to 2010 as well, that you mentioned was going to be a cracker for the Reds. Yeah,
I think 2010 there's the potential, I think, for the 2010s to upstage the 2007s. We've got another couple of years of vine age, and we've already seen with the few tastings that we've done of the 2010s that we've got much better concentration in the tier that Vickers Choice is selected from, as well as the premium. So I think from the consumer's point of view, they can really go in buying with confidence the 2010 vintages, especially at that Vickers Choice level is going to be a step up on what they've had from 09.
Fantastic.
07.
Well, Hamish, it's been nice talking to you. I wish
Yeah,
we could take some more time, but thanks for taking the time to stop in. Cheers to your success at Saint Clair. It's been tremendous, and we look forward to working with the Vickers Choice range in the future.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Pleasure. Thanks, Andrew.